I was born in Midland, Ontario on December the 10th, 1918. And very shortly after that, my family moved to Calgary. My dad was a school teacher, and I lived in Calgary. I grew up in Calgary. I was still in Calgary when I joined the Army. They had a business that was called the Western Canada Institute, which was the equivalent of Cole's Notes here. But this was the business. We were all, as we grew up, we always had jobs. I had a teacher or two in high school that had been in the war that plugged it a bit, but we never paid any attention. We had no military, still don't, on the family side. Let's face it, we were smart kids. We knew what was going on. In 1939, I don't think the group that I was associated with paid much attention. I was in a pretty comfortable group. We weren't people desperate for work or whatever. Anyway, as it went on, most of the guys tried to get in the Air Force, including myself, and I couldn't because my glasses, I didn't see well enough to be accepted. And the same with the Navy. And as a matter of fact, strangely enough, I had a hernia, and I couldn't be in the service with a hernia, which is kind of ridiculous. And I went, I guess, in 1940 to Queen's, and I was there 2 years taking a commerce course. And at the end of the first year, I had this hernia repaired. So in the second year, I became eligible to join. My temperament and my nature was such that I was sure that I would be better and more content as an officer than to start out and go through the ranks. And so, with the opportunity through university, officer training to go that route, that was my plan. And then we had a draft, went overseas on the Queen Elizabeth. There were 4 or 5 of us arrived at the same time, and there was one key job, and I was hustling to get it, which I did. And we were keen. And then, of course, when we found out we were going to be involved in D-Day, we got pretty excited, and we were busy, learning these tracked vehicles, which we had never had, and how to drive them, and how to waterproof them, and we trained, and we were the last few weeks we were combined together, and then we were down at the docks in Southampton, and we knew what was going on. I've always said it was the Grey Cup, the Stanley Cup, the World Series all played the same day. I'm not only there, but I'm playing. And that was my personal reaction. And I don't think there's anybody that really wasn't fired up and excited. And our schedule was H plus 90. We were to land. We fired while the first guys landed, and we turned around and came back in, and we landed. So we were an hour and a half after the first ones. It was bedlam, and there again, I was too busy. I didn't have time to go looking around. And we moved around that day, and by evening, we were more or less settled, and that's when the SDGs were reinforcement. And we're back at this churchyard waiting to get ourselves better organized, and they arrived, and they're going up the street, and the pipers. And it's amazing, eh? It really gets to you. Those pipers, you felt like falling in and going and getting killed with the rest of them. It was. We were pretty conscious of the battle, the Carpiquet battle, because we had guys wounded and killed and all that, and we were very conscious of firing a very heavy density firing day. And then as it went on with Con, we were pretty close to the action. Yeah, we were in Nijmegen at Christmas and through the winter. After the Rhine crossing, we went up through Holland. That part of the war with the Recce, we'd liberate villages, and it was quite a thing. When the war was going to end, it was going to end for several days. And nobody wants to do anything and say, shit, we don't want to get killed on the last day of the war. So it went by seniority, and I didn't have a whole lot of seniority, so I didn't get back for a while. The guys got back fairly soon. The ones that volunteered for the Far East, they got home right away. I got back into Queens right away. I never knew what I wanted. I don't know yet. When the war ended, the general attitude we had was that the British were best on defense and Americans were best on offense, and we were best on both. When war was declared, we were guys in Calgary and guys in Vancouver and all that across the country, but not together. And by the end of the war, we all knew each other and we had come together, and we all had one objective: to win the war. We were all on the same side. We worked at it. We were keen. It got to the point where it was easier to be in than not be in. I think when the war started earlier, a lot of the guys that went in were keen. They really, this was their career, whereas guys that went in when I went in, I was a civilian, and I'm going to learn this until it's over, and that's my career. I had no ambition to follow and stay in. It was pretty simple, straightforward. We trusted each other. We liked each other. We were proud of our country, proud of the service we were in. Made a man out of me, eh? I guess I was a kind of a loose cannon in ways. You get responsibility pretty fast when you're in charge, eh? So I think all that stuff I learned helped me forever, eh, in all my endeavors.